Welcome back to Stars on Tap. I'm Brian.
I'm Jim.
Today we're going to review Sierra Nevada Ruthless Rye IPA. This is their 2013. It's one that they release. I don't even actually know the release date.
Last year was their first year.
Last year was the first year.
Yeah,
okay. Which it sold real well last year, and everybody was asking me when it's coming out, and we finally have it again on tap, and we have it in the bottle at Stars as well. And it's a rye style IPA, which the rye is the malt that they use.
Well, it's probably a two-row base malt, and then they put in some rye malt, and I think that there's some caramel and some chocolate malt in there, which you'll be able to see in the color when we pour it out.
And so basically it gives it a kind of a peppery, kind of earthy, but yet hoppy drinking beer, which I'm excited to try it and to crack into it. So we'll give it a little. We chose a 16-ounce pint glass for this beer. Logic behind that wasn't it's going to film right over there. We're going to drink it. Logic behind that was to kind of give you a look at what it is, and some of the things I know about this beer. It tends to be a little more carbonated, and those bubbles tend to pop up, and so I really wanted to kind of get that through the glass, and you can see it kind of jumping up.
Yeah, and very clear too.
Yeah, it's right through. I can see the streak through the glass. So you probably splash yours a little more, so you get a good 2-finger bend on there.
Yeah, that's splash.
It's almost caramel in color.
Yeah, copper, caramel, but you can definitely very clear. You can see right through it.
And there's no lacing, so that's symbolic of. I think this is 6.5%.
6.6.
6.6, yeah. So it's symbolic of a beer that it's an easier drinker, but being a rye style, I think it's going to have that flavor that you're going to want to make you feel like you got a little more bite to it than you do.
Right. Let's grab one of those.
Get the hop.
Yeah, the hop's coming through. Yeah, it certainly has that kind of piney,
and you definitely get that citrus, which is symbolic of the hops that they're using for this beer.
So they're using Bravo to boil with, and then Citra and Chinook for the bittering. So it definitely has that characteristics of those hops. They also have their hops that they have created.
Note and a little earthiness in it, which obviously I'm sure is attributed to that.
Comes from the rye,
that malt.
Yeah, it has that kind of peppery. Typically, the rye has that peppery feeling to it. So
rye IPAs are getting more popular, especially the people that don't love all those like bitter IPAs. The West Coast IPA, they like that kind of not necessarily sweet, but that little spice to it, but yet kind of malted and maybe yet kind of hoppy. They're getting more and more popular. Give it a little taste. Cheers. That spice, and almost pepper on it.
Yep, definitely peppers right there. That citrus that is really kind of coming through. Yeah, it's kind of like a burnt orange or something. Kind of maybe it's a blend of the pepper and that orange flavor of the hops.
Yeah, it's funny because it is perfectly. You just described it. It's like that citrus and the pepper kind of smashing together.
Yeah.
It's
But definitely medium body in the mouth. Definitely it's got a great malt backbone to it.
And it's not overpowered. It's not too big. It's not super filling. Like a couple of the ones we reviewed and some of the ones that I normally drink, it's a mouthful. If you drink 3 of them, you're like,
right. Yeah, this is definitely a quaffer. It's definitely a great drinker. At 6.6, it's on the kind of normal range, right. A little bit higher than your kind of typical.
Probably a little higher than their standard pale ale, but it's definitely less than their torpedo, which their torpedo is kind of their double IPA. They call it an extra IPA, a little difference.
Yeah, I think their standard is like 5.9. Torpedoes coming in around
7 something. Yeah.
So this is like smack dab right in the middle. But
it's great, and it's a limited release, so they don't put it out there too often. It's available right now in the 6-packs, or at Stars on Tap, and in the bottle. The bottle I'll have a little longer, which is nice because you can kind of taste it in 3 months, or if you want to do it. But the tap, it's going to be gone soon, so you're going to want to jump on it when you can. But
one more sip.
Because that pepper is lingering on my tongue, but it's funny as I take the other sip, it's so you definitely get that citrus that you were saying, and
there's a little bit of breadiness back there too. which kind of comes from that. I think the little bit of the malt, the yeast, that's kind of coming through. Not a ton, but it definitely gives it a little bit more of a thicker viscosity in the mouthfeel.
Right, and it's like you said, like we said a minute ago, it's drinkable, like very, very drinkable, like you take it exactly. I gotta catch up.
But this is a great beer. What do you think about a rating?
I think it's very, very good. In school I never got a B+, but so I'm going to give it a B+. So I think that's exceptional.
That's why you drink a beer.
Exactly. That's what happens. Kids stay in school. Although drink a beer,
that's not bad.
But I'm going to give it an 85. I think it's really, really good. It's basically everything I thought. I didn't expect it to be a big bomber, like just strong on the tongue and all hop, but I also didn't expect it to be overly malt, and I think it rides that perfect balance. It's a drink.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit more. Even 88. I really like this beer. It's definitely something that you could maybe crush a 6-pack without a problem
easily.
So it's a great kind of blend of that. I love that rye. It really kind of comes through for me with those hops that Sierra does. They're the godfather
definitely
of the craft beer industry. And we didn't really get into that, but they've been doing this for a long time, and they've got it down pat.
And their line is growing. They're putting out some amazing stuff. Oh man, there's so much great stuff. And our friend Dave Norcus, who makes sure that we get all these beers. If it wasn't for Dave, this would kind of be a forgotten thing. So
yeah, it's great.
Awesome. 85 and 88. Cheers. See you at Stars. Hopefully you get there before it's off tap.